Today I'll be dining with former restaurant owner Janet Camp.
This is not normal.
Through her culinary consulting firm, she creates healthy, fine meals. But life hasn't always been fine for Janet. She began her career in fashion despite her parents' disapproval. Following her heart created some division in her family. Now she's able to share the food and the life lessons of her Chinese upbringing with the world.
So Janet, where did the inspiration for this incredible looking menu come from?
The baby Shanghainese bok choy is actually a classic technique from my grandmother, my mother, and grandfather, because grandmother didn't know how to cook when she came to the United States. She had bound feet and her maid with her.
Wow.
But grandfather loved food, so all his daughters had to stand there and learn how to cook. And so that's how I learned how to cook very young. And the fish dish is a steamed fish, which my father would do. He was a terrible cook.
Your dad was a terrible cook?
Oh, he's a terrible cook. Mom was a great cook, but he liked to cook. And so it's about perseverance. He did it and did it again and tried his best. And for me, that's a lesson in life. It's the perseverance and also cooking from the heart.
Well, let's enjoy our food and then go and check out and see how it's made.
Okay, thank you.
So Janet, what are we doing? What are we making today?
So it's going to be a steamed fish, and it's a sea bass, and I'm going to line it with this wonderful Napa cabbage.
We're going to shred it?
Nope, it's just going to be a liner, and you can eat it afterwards if you choose. And you know, it's like dim sum, you need a little bit of lining so that the juices stay with the fish. So I had the fishmonger just gut the whole thing, and I kept the bones and the head for a later use. But this is what I'm going to do now.
And what is that, Janet?
So it's just 2-inch pieces that I'm just going to
scallions.
Yep, scallions. And what I'm going to do now is just put the lid on it and steam it. So this fillet is fairly thin. I'm going to start it probably at 10 minutes.
So the mushroom ends up in here too?
Nope, the mushroom is going to be with bok choy.
Okay.
And I'll show you how we do that.
So why are they in water?
Okay, so I reconstituted dried ones. I didn't use fresh ones.
Okay.
And they have more intensity of flavor than the fresh ones.
So then what are we going to do here eventually?
Okay, so why don't we start this since we have time.
And what kind of oil are we using?
Peanut oil.
Okay.
Is the classic. And it should come up to a high sizzle. Toss it in. Sizzle and bubble. Don't wait. Toss the whole thing in. Okay, and a little Himalayan sea salt. What we're going to do is toss this to coat it in oil. And then a little bit of this water. And it's a steam cook kind of method. And you just heard that go off. That's the fish. So you see how opaque it is and how it's flaking?
Mm-hmm. That's when you know it's ready?
Yeah. And what we'll do is splash this with some soy sauce. Okay, so now we're ready to serve, and the oil is heated and smoking, and here we go. This is a Chinese style, home style cooking and home style eating. So we all eat from the plate, but since you're a guest, I'll serve you.
Okay.
So if these were the actual chopsticks that I'm using, what I would have done is, if I was eating from that, then I would serve you from this side.
Wow. When you eat this, who do you think about? What do you think about?
It's the family dinner. No matter what, there was a family dinner. And you know how everyone was playing soccer and music lessons, and a family member would sit down with you no matter what when you got back and to find out how your day went. But we always had family meals.
What has been the biggest struggle for you as a Chinese American woman in this country, And how did you overcome those challenges and struggles?
The first challenge is your parents. When they tell you no, you're not going to make it. I wanted to go to fashion school on the East Coast. I love the East Coast.
But you made it in that industry.
Yes, and I was published, but I was disowned first.
How hard was that?
Really hard, but you know, when you're listening to your heart, you have to do it. You have to know that you tried at least. If you fall short, at least you did it. Well, I made it.
So that was definitely the biggest challenge.
It was the biggest challenge is your parents first and willing to go the road without them, and which means also your siblings.
So talk to us a little bit more about your mom and dad, the love you have for them, and how much they influenced you in making an incredible meal that brought the whole family together.
My parents passed away this past year, and it's within 6 months of each other. Wow. And my father was weakening, and I had that feeling that was happening, and so I was already on a plane, and my sister told Dad that I was going to be landing at noon, and he decided he was going to leave at 11:45. So my cousin picked me up and dashed me there, and it's 12:15, and we're sitting around Dad. My sister sent out her daughter for Chinese food. We stepped outside to have lunch on the patio with the trees and the breeze. And this is the first time my brother and sister and I are having a meal since childhood, together and alone.
Wow.
And it was an amazing experience and really memorable.
It's okay.
Yeah. It was really cozy and warm, and it was right because the timing is when you're together and not when you've passed.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Janet,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.